Have you ever wondered if something as private as masturbation could actually help your prostate? After 60, the risks to your prostate increase, but what if the solution is already in your hands, literally? Don't scroll away. What you learn in the next few minutes might just change how you see aging. I'm Dr. Daniel Hartman, a men's health expert based in Chicago. After 3 decades of working with men in their 60s, 70s, and even 80s, I can confidently say the problem isn't your age, it's what's happening inside your body. One question I often hear from my older patients is, does masturbation actually do anything good for my health, or is it just a leftover habit from youth? Today, we'll explore a topic many shy away from, but that could be a key to better prostate health in your golden years. Most men over the age of 60 are never told this, not by their doctors, not by their friends, and certainly not by society. Prostate congestion is a real thing. It happens slowly, quietly, and most of the time without warning. But the effects, they can shake your confidence, disturb your sleep, and even damage your health. You see, as we age, our sexual activity naturally declines. That's expected. But what's rarely discussed is what happens inside your body when this change sets in. The prostate, a wall, nut-sized gland sitting just below your bladder, is responsible for producing the fluid that carries sperm. Even when sexual activity decreases, the body continues producing that fluid day after day, week after week. When it doesn't get released, it builds up, and that's when the trouble begins. Most men feel this way but don't know why. The frequent urge to urinate at night, the dull ache in the groin, the pressure during bowel movements, or the sensation that something just isn't right down there. These are often dismissed as signs of aging, but in many cases, they are signs of an overwhelmed, congested prostate struggling to cope. You're not alone. In my 3 decades of helping men in their 60s and beyond, I've seen this pattern play out countless times. A once active man starts slowing down, his intimacy fades, and slowly, his confidence erodes. He becomes hesitant, even fearful, to talk about what's happening to his body. But silence is dangerous because ignoring your prostate can lead to chronic prostatitis, urinary tract infections, and more. This might shock you, but most old men do this wrong. They think that if they suppress their natural urges, they're being strong, disciplined, or noble. But the truth, you may be harming yourself without even knowing it. The body was designed to release not just emotionally, but physically. When that release is blocked, it creates pressure, inflammation, and eventually pain. Many urologists quietly acknowledge that regular ejaculation, whether through partnered sex or masturbation, can help flush out built-up fluids in the prostate. It's like draining a tank before it overflows. No, it's not a magic bullet, but it's a simple, natural act that helps the prostate stay clear, clean, and healthy. And for those who ask, isn't it too late for me? Let me say this clearly, it's never too late to start paying attention to your body. You may not be 25 anymore, but your health matters just as much now, maybe even more. No one talks about this, but they should. Your prostate isn't just a forgotten gland, it's a vital part of your male identity, your comfort, and your health. If you've been feeling discomfort, pressure, or even shame, please understand you're not broken, you're human, and there are ways to feel better again. You deserve a healthy, confident life, no matter your age. There's something most men over 60 aren't told, and it's not because it's untrue. It's because no one wants to talk about it. But let's talk about it here, just between us. As men age, the body begins to change. Energy levels shift, testosterone production slows, and intimacy becomes less frequent. But one part of your body doesn't stop. Your prostate keeps working. Your glands still produce fluid, and your tension builds. This might surprise you, but masturbation, yes, even after 60, 70, or 80, may be one of the simplest, most natural ways to release that internal pressure. And not just emotional pressure, but physical congestion. When a man ejaculates, even through solo activity, he's doing more than relieving a desire. He's helping his body function the way it was designed to. Let's put it plainly, when the prostate is never emptied, fluid stagnates. The ducts can swell, inflammation can begin, and over time, this may lead to conditions like chronic prostatitis. You might feel it as pelvic heaviness, testicular aching, or that frustrating urge to urinate again right after you've just gone. These aren't just inconveniences, they're signs your body is asking for release. You're not alone in this. Most men in their later years have no idea this is happening inside them, and sadly, many feel too embarrassed to ask their doctor about it. Some even assume that masturbating after 60 is inappropriate, immature, or unnecessary, but that couldn't be further from the truth. You may be harming yourself without even knowing, not because of what you're doing, but because of what you've stopped doing. Your body still needs care, still needs release, still needs attention. Masturbation isn't just a youthful indulgence, it can be a tool for health, a way to gently clear the pipes, restore circulation, and bring a sense of balance to your most private parts. And no, this doesn't mean you have to feel ashamed or hide in the shadows of guilt. You're human, your body deserves respect. If something as simple as a few moments of private touch can bring you relief, comfort, and possibly even protect your prostate, why shouldn't you embrace it? No one talks about this, but they should. I've met countless men who suffered in silence, only to feel liberated once they realized that this private act had real physical value. It's not about lust, it's about letting your body do what it was designed to do. You've earned the right to feel good, not just emotionally, but physically. Your health matters not just to you, but to those who love you. And if something as simple and natural as masturbation can help ease your tension, protect your prostate, and bring you comfort, then maybe, just maybe, it's worth reconsidering everything you thought you knew. You deserve a healthy, confident life, no matter your age. Most men over 60 notice it, even if they don't talk about it: the drop in energy, the slower recovery, the thinning muscle, and that fading sense of drive. It's easy to blame it on age, and yes, aging plays a role, but underneath the surface there's something deeper happening, something hormonal, and if you're not careful, you might accept decline when your body is still asking for help. One of the silent culprits is testosterone, the vital male hormone that begins to decline slowly after your 40s. By the time you're in your 60s or 70s, that drop can feel like a quiet retreat of everything that once made you feel strong, clear, and alive. But here's the surprising part: certain natural behaviors, including masturbation, can actually support the balance of your hormones, especially testosterone. Now, this might sound strange, but listen closely. When you stimulate your body through intimacy or masturbation, your brain sends a signal to the endocrine system. That system, in turn, triggers the release of dopamine, oxytocin, and yes, testosterone. It's not a flood, not a miracle, but it's enough to tell your body, we're still here, we still function, we still matter. You may be shocked to hear this, but a body that is completely dormant, sexually inactive for years, may begin to signal to the brain that those systems are no longer needed, and in return, the brain slows down hormone production. It's a feedback loop. Inactivity leads to lower hormones, and lower hormones lead to more inactivity, and it doesn't stop there. Blood flow, the lifeblood of vitality, also plays a role. Erections aren't just about sex. They are one of the body's natural ways to push oxygen, rich blood through delicate tissues in the pelvic region, including the prostate. When that stops happening, the tissues stiffen, blood vessels shrink, and sensitivity dulls. In a very real sense, the body begins to forget how to be alive in those places. You're not alone. Most men have no idea that regular stimulation, even without climax every time, can keep blood flow steady, oxygen moving, and those tissues healthier. No one told them, no one gave them permission, but that silence, that shame, it's costing men more than they realize. This might shock you, but most old men do this wrong. They avoid it entirely, thinking they're too old. Or they overdo it without care, chasing a feeling rather than understanding the purpose. But when done mindfully, with respect to your body's needs, masturbation can become not just an act of pleasure, but of maintenance. No one talks about this, but they should. You're not just a man who's aging, you're still a man. Your hormones may be different, but they're not gone. Your blood still flows, and your body still responds when given the right signals. You deserve a healthy, confident life, no matter your age. Here's something we rarely admit as men: aging doesn't just change our bodies. It changes how we feel about ourselves. It challenges our sense of purpose, our masculinity, and even our place in the world. After 60, life slows down, the noise gets quieter, the demands lessen, and we're left with a lot of time and silence, and in that silence, many older men carry stress, loneliness, even grief, the kind no one sees. The kind you don't talk about, not even to your closest friends. Most men feel this way at some point. You're not alone. But here's the part most don't realize. That stress doesn't just sit in your mind, it lodges itself in your body. In your chest, your gut, your back, and yes, in your pelvic area too. It becomes tension, not just emotional, but physical. You might feel it as tightness, heaviness, or a sense of dull unease. And when that tension builds up over time, it doesn't just affect your mood, it affects your prostate, your bladder, your sleep, and your relationships. You may be surprised to hear this, but masturbation, when done with care, not shame, can help relieve that pressure. It's not just about sex, it's about release, a gentle, private way to ease tension, reset your nervous system, and bring you back to your center. It calms the brain, soothes the nerves, and gives the body a signal: it's okay, you're safe now. There's a reason why many men report sleeping better after they masturbate. There's a reason it helps with anxiety. It stimulates the release of endorphins, the feel-good chemicals your body naturally produces. It also lowers cortisol, the stress hormone that quietly wears down your heart, immune system, and mental clarity over time. No one talks about this, but they should. Because the truth is, most older men are carrying emotional weight they've never been allowed to set down. Years of holding it together, decades of staying strong, and somewhere along the way, they forgot they're human too, that they also need comfort, that they also deserve peace. This might shock you, but some of the most confident, grounded older men I've worked with, men in their 70s and 80s, have learned how to reclaim intimacy without shame. They understand that a moment of release can be a form of therapy, a way to reconnect with their bodies, their emotions, and their sense of worth. You don't need to feel guilty for wanting to feel something again. You don't need to hide from your own body. In fact, listening to your body may be one of the most loving things you can do for your health, your mind, and your spirit. You deserve a healthy, confident life, no matter your age. Let's be clear, masturbation isn't a miracle. It won't cure prostate cancer. It won't solve all your health problems, and it definitely won't replace the need for a healthy lifestyle. But for men over 60, it can be a powerful tool if used with understanding, not shame. You see, too many older men are either told that masturbation is irrelevant at their age, or they treat it like a guilty pleasure done in secret, disconnected from health and purpose. But the truth is far more balanced. No, it's not a magic bullet, but yes, it can be part of a routine that protects your body, your mind, and your spirit. Think of it like stretching. Stretching alone won't build muscle, but it prevents tightness, promotes circulation, and keeps your body functioning smoothly. Masturbation is similar. It's one piece of a much larger picture, a picture that includes regular exercise, a heart-healthy diet, hydration, stress management, and annual prostate screenings. When all these elements work together, the results can be remarkable. But when you ignore this one area, your sexual self, your need for release, your right to pleasure, things can slowly start to deteriorate. Blood flow decreases, hormones fluctuate in the wrong direction. Your mood sinks, sleep suffers, and most dangerously, you begin to feel disconnected from your own body, like a stranger in your own skin. You're not alone. So many men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond have quietly let go of any relationship with their bodies. They stop checking in, stop listening, stop caring, but that doesn't have to be your story. You don't need to surrender your sense of vitality, not now, not ever. This might shock you, but most older men either completely neglect this part of their life or misuse it in ways that bring guilt rather than growth. What's missing is perspective, the understanding that this act isn't about youth or lust. It's about maintenance. It's about connection. It's about honoring your body even in solitude. No one talks about this, but they should. Because when masturbation is used with care, not as a replacement for connection, but as a respectful act of self-care, it becomes something far more than people assume. It becomes a tool for prostate health, for emotional release, for reminding yourself that you're still alive, still worthy, still whole. It doesn't mean you're lonely. It doesn't mean you're broken. It simply means you're human. A man who is learning, even in his later years, that health comes in many forms and some of the most powerful tools are already within reach. You deserve a healthy, confident life, no matter your age.